Welcome to the Headless Professor video series. Today we're going to talk about Alfred Adler and his individual psychology as it applies especially to religion. Adler was an early collaborator with Sigmund Freud back in Vienna at the turn of the century. He broke with Freud in 1912 primarily over the issue of the Oedipus complex. Adler was convinced that the universal complex afflicting all children was the inferiority feeling that every child experiences as a result of being born a child in an adult world. Children realize that adults have bigger bodies, more privileges, more knowledge. We all cope with inferiority feeling in different ways. And the healthy way is to develop something which Adler called Gemeinschaftsgefühl, which usually is translated as social interest. In other words, we stop feeling sorry for ourselves and start caring more about others. The whole dynamic of mental illness, according to Adler, is how has this particular individual unsuccessfully coped with inferiority feeling. And the treatment plan is the unique way that the therapist is going to guide this individual to the course of social interest. This diagram represents Adler's view of the mind space of each individual child. There are several factors which can bring a child down into a worsening of inferiority feeling. For example, if the child has a real or perceived inferiority, it might be a physical inferiority due to disease or birth defect, but it could also be an inferiority due to lack of intelligence, lack of physical beauty, lack of athletic prowess, or maybe it's a prejudice rooted in ethnicity, religion, or socioeconomic status. We all have something to feel inferior about. Adler also pointed out that children who were neglected by their parents or sadly abused by their parents could also have these kinds of feelings of inferiority exacerbated. Even children who were pampered might develop a worsening of inferiority feeling because the child then wonders, what's wrong with me that I need all this extra attention? Some children strive away from inferiority but still wind up on the useless side of life because they strive in an inappropriate direction. Some seek solace in drugs or other kinds of addictions. Some, especially males, turn toward gangs and violence as a way of denying their inferiority and asserting a sham sense of power and superiority. Other children take solace in material virtues and try to pretend that their wealth and their ability to have the best new clothes somehow denies inferiority. So, how do we get to the healthy mode of social interest? Adler says that there are three paths that we can all take. Our friends help us realize that we are not alone, we are not uniquely inferior, we all have problems. So, interpersonal relations with friends helps us develop social interest. Developing a family of our own, a spouse who loves us, children who look up to us, is also a key to developing social interest. Then there is a career where we can get a sense of achievement, accomplishment, and contribution to society at large. When we look at this diagram and plug it into religion, we see that religion helps us cope with these various feelings of inferiority. It encourages not to strive on the side of violence, drugs, or materialism. It encourages us to get over our childhood inferiorities the wrongs that were done to us in terms of abuse and neglect. And it points us toward helping others, and it gives us a spiritual community to work with. So according to Adler, religion is part of the solution, not part of the problem. For more information about Adler's theories, take a look at some of my articles in the Baker Encyclopedia of Psychology and Counseling. If you have any comment about these videos, contact me, brink@usa.com.